Alright, this is an informational video about the Hipoint C9 compact pistol. Compact, at least as far as my concerns are. And the mods that I've done to it to make it more reliable. This pistol advertises online for about $160 nowadays with a lifetime warranty. That means if anything happens, you can just send it back. No questions asked. There's videos online of people literally blowing one up, obstructing the barrel with a screw, and they replaced it. So, I mean, they stand by their word. It's a great company out of Ohio in the USA. Supports our economy, anything that can help that out. I've done a few things to mine. I personally paid $260 before FFL transfer fees, which were in a shop that I had to pay for in my area. Unfortunately, guns don't come by cheap, and even the cheap guns aren't cheap. And finding used surplus firearms is actually very hard, believe it or not. So this is basically what I bought. I only need it for home defense. I don't go shooting a whole bunch. I want something cheap. I went with a 9mm just because it's a handgun. It's cheap, it's compact, that's what I was looking for. Home defense, I generally don't answer the door with a shotgun. I like to be a little more giving, if you will, at the beginning of a conversation. I'm not trying to start anything or start any conflict. And this allows me to hide that so people don't see it. However, if I do get into a situation, I know it's right there. So I have that safety net, if you will, dealing with a bunch of stuff. But, yeah, like I said, I don't have $1,000 to spend on a gun, so all you guys that are out here about SIGs and Smith & Wesson and all that other stuff, you guys can just close the video right now because I'm not going to talk about that because I can't afford that at this point in time. I can barely afford the ammo to put through this. So, what I've done is I've done some very cheap mods. I've used a Krylon spray paint to updo the grips and the back of this, which I'm going to explain to you in a second. I used a coarse 180 grit sandpaper, which actually came on a roll because I use a bar on flat surfaces to make sure everything comes out even and smooth and, how it should. And the other things that I don't use a bar for, I'll just wrap this around my finger. It has a sticky side. It literally can go to any crevice you need it to. If you want to crack it in half, you can get right into corners. But yeah, let's get into it. So when first spraying this, you'll get a almost sawdust residue that comes around the outside of this. And for that, you need to get the sandpaper. Actually, after you spray it 3 times initially, you need to sandpaper it first. Clean it off with a good oil degreaser, some sort of cleaner to that nature, because hopefully you lube your gun up and there'll be oil all over this. And after you do that, you spray it about 3 times. 3 thin coats. You don't want to go overdo it. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want, it to look like shit. The point is to make it look nice. So after that, you'll get it undone. There'll be like a bunch of wood grain. You take that sandpaper, sand it all off. It'll look something like this right here, where you have a bunch of like black edges, but still the main surface area that's covered by it. Once that's done, you clean it all off again with a good degreaser, some sort of cleaning agent. I'll even go to the extent of rubbing alcohol almost to make sure it's perfectly clean. And you spray it again. After that, it should hopefully come in with a nice grip feel, but still be clean and not look horrible. So I'll show you guys some after results. I did it on the clip and everything else. And then there's a few other things I did, such as polishing the feed ramp and other things like that. So I'll show you guys that later in the videos. Thank you.